comedians Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer recently took a 6-week break from their podcast that was already dropping in views. But what happened while they were gone made them realize their entire audience has officially turned on them.
Alright, so as you guys can see, a massive channel, one of the few channels that is this big, covering Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. Covering their final episode, what seems to be their final episode. After having Stavros and Chris Stefano come in and take over for them, here they are, returning to exactly what everybody thought. Right? Nobody cared. Nobody was sitting here waiting for Bert and Tom to come back. We knew it wasn't going to be better. For no reason was it going to be better. I mean, I stopped listening and watching anything on YMH years ago, dude. Years ago. It just became unbearable. I feel like most of it is. There's nothing on there that is worth watching. Not the fucking first date with that Lauren Compton. Not Danny Brown. None of that shit. It's all impossible to watch. No matter how good the guest is. It's just bad production overall. Not a fun watch. But here you got Patrick CC. 2.33 million subscribers on this guy's channel. And he has covered comedians from time to time. He's not somebody that's out of the loop. He's certainly somebody that does enjoy comedy. But it's a bit annoying to me, being a channel that has covered Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura multiple times, and have read the comments, and I got many comments from people defending these guys, but yet a guy with 2.3 million says the same exact shit, and all of a sudden he's correct. There's no way I could be correct. There's no way I could see this shit happening, right? Only this guy, this Patrick CC fella, because he's got more subscribers. So of course he's going to be right. Of course his comments are going to be positive and leaning towards the fact that, yeah, Bert Kreischer's a dope and Tom Segura's a fucking loser, whatever it is, right? It's just sickening that that's the way that it works. But what can I do? You guys are going to choose to do what you want to do, and I'm here for it, I suppose. Let's hear some more.
However, instead of listening to their fans' reasonable criticism, they ignored it and went right back to doing the same thing that pissed off their audience in the first place.
You only have what you have because of fans, so don't talk about us like that. Yeah, but you're still a loser.
Now their podcast is in a worse position than it was before, and it's only a matter of time before 2 of the highest-selling comedians in the industry have to shut down their show.
Well, look, man, I've said this from the beginning. I feel like we're all losers. Any of us that aren't these dudes that are trying to sell their souls to get to that next level, we're all fucking losers, man. And anybody who actually takes this shit seriously is even more of a loser than the people who are doing it for fun, right? Like, oh, you're sitting there for hours and hours doing the production and the editing? That's crazy, dude. I'm putting out stuff I mean, when you look at somebody like Penguin Zero, you know, Charlie's putting out new videos every day, basically. And he's never once made an original thumbnail. And he's got 16, 18 million, whatever, subscribers on YouTube. It just goes to show, right? But it just annoys me when you got guys like that Kamal or Camille channel, and then Patrick CC, guys like this that are put out the exact same shit that so many of us other smaller channels have been saying for months and months, maybe years, and all of a sudden, oh, they're validating it because they're a big channel. So now maybe you'll take us seriously. I mean, all the shit that I've talked about Kill Tony on this channel and before, I get constant arguments, constant backlash from people that think that I'm wrong, until there's somebody who's got 60 million followers saying the same shit, and they're like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Like, motherfucker, I said the same thing. I'm sorry, you're too dumb to fucking get it. That is the real tragedy, is the lack of intelligence out here, folks. A lot of you guys are just walking blindly. You know, as well as just saying the most ridiculous shit in the comments that doesn't pertain anything to the actual content. Somebody wanted to say that everything that I said about the Theo video was wrong. Like, no, it actually isn't, though. It isn't. You have just been living so blind for so long that anybody who has a correct opinion or correct perspective has to be out of their mind. There's no way they could be correct. Especially somebody who doesn't have a bunch of money and isn't rich and famous. A normal guy shouldn't be able to just figure stuff out. Right? That'd be weird.
Welcome to the final episode ever of Two Bears, One Cave.
But this was possibly a long time coming, because only a few episodes into Tom and Bert's Two Bears, One Cave podcast, fans were already starting to notice some problems. You have to understand that the dynamic between Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer was originally a perfect match. Tom garnered a diehard fan base online through his podcast, Your Mom's House. One of their legendary ongoing segments was called the Cool Guy Club. Tom and his comedian wife, Christina P., would find bizarre, cringe.
He doesn't have to say that she's a comedian. You don't gotta say that Tom's wife is a comedian. Okay? Because barely. Right? She's as much of a comedian as anybody else that does a podcast that they call comedy.
Worthy clips of guys online who had extremely questionable lifestyles, like Robert Paul Champagne, who would publicly request that strangers have sex with him, dox himself, sharing his address and personal information, which Tom and Christina P. shared with their millions of fans.
Willingly.
You're a hot black guy, you want to
happily
$23.95. If you want to move in, you can move in, but you gotta me. I need
just
a lot, man.
I mean, what was the real big difference between Kill Tony and anything that Tom Segura was doing? I mean, all these guys are doing is figuring out a way to mock people online. That's sort of the only thing that people seem to enjoy these days, is people being mocked online, especially if they're not rich and famous, because apparently being rich and famous means you're untouchable. You can't be made fun of or mocked. And if you do, boy oh boy, all of your fans are going to come to your rescue. I mean, that's more embarrassing. Dude, how are you not embarrassed? How are you not ashamed to come to the aid of like a Brendan Schaub? Like, no, actually Brendan Schaub, or, you know, even Theo Von. It's like, buddy, that guy, you defending him in the comments isn't going to make him your fucking friend. Get over it, dude.
Get free food, free rent, and everything else, man. Here's the deal, man. Men from jail, homeless, or you're a thug.
Like that.
And who is he?
He's that guy. His name is Robert Paul.
I mean, it is weird that Patrick CC had to sit here and play that entire clip. What is that for? You know? Like, I think anybody that is watching this video, for the most part, is aware of YMH and Bert Kreischer. But I'm also sure that there are people that are on Patrick's channel that have no idea who these two are. They don't know Tom, they don't know Bert. But by the end of the video, they are going to form an opinion. And that opinion is going to be affected by this video, from what's said in the video.
Paul Champagne. He lives in New York. You could visit him when you're home.
Another cool guy was Tony Johns, Utah's most infamous ladies' man.
You know, like deadass though, like breakups are hard, don't get me wrong, ladies and gents, playboy.
Alright, it's pretty clear he's going to be playing quite a bit of clips, huh? Lengthy clips.
He would mimic their voices, turn their words into catchphrases, and talk about them as if they were legendary figures worthy of respect. It was obviously sarcastic, but Tom's ability to both ridicule and celebrate them at the same time made the Cool Guy Club feel less like a roast and more like an initiation into an inside joke that only loyal listeners fully understood. Which is why when Tom and Bert Kreischer announced their Two Bears, One Cave podcast, it was almost like Tom was doing an entire show with a cool guy. Now,
Well, I mean, one could argue, right? One could argue that Bert's right there. You know, Bert is just as much of a cool guy as all the other cool guys. But I guess my returning issue with all of this stuff is like, hey man, you got rich. Why did you stop being funny? You know? Because they also like to believe that they got rich and famous simply because of their skill. It doesn't have to do with the fact that they're friends with Joe Rogan or these other bigwig names in comedy, right? That doesn't play a factor at all. Even though we've all heard the saying, it's all about who you know. And today, 2025, that definitely pertains to comedy. And that's the sad thing. It really pertains to everything. There's so many cliques and clubs and what have you on fucking the internet that it is all bullying, right? The inclusion, you know, the inside jokes that nobody else gets unless they're a part of the little chat groups or Discord groups. And what have we learned, man? What have we learned about these guys that spend all this time in their chat groups and shit? What have we learned about them? They end up doing horrible, horrible things. They just do. Every single one of these guys that has fucking taken a weapon into a public place in the recent fucking 5 years has been on Discord, on 4chan, on Reddit. And all of a sudden there's no pattern. There's no way there's a pattern. Right? Come on, we know where you're hanging out. And honest to God, I've never made an account on any of those. Ever. Have no interest. Zero. Why would I go over there? There's enough entertainment on the basic part of the internet. I'm not one of these people that needs to watch somebody get mocked and made fun of. It's lame as fuck. Like, you must be really sad to find joy in that. I love punching up. Don't get me wrong. I will attack these guys that want to put their face on camera all the time. These guys that want to claim to be this or claim to be that and have this skill and have that talent. Yeah, these guys are already rich. They have no reason to care about how I feel. The fact that somebody like Dusty Slay, as priorly mentioned, saw my video, commented on my video, is proof that not just him, but other dudes are watching it. Whether or not it's them specifically, there's people in their production that are watching Red Bar. There's people in their production that is watching American Redact and Too Lazy to Try. They're watching it themselves.
He was also a popular comedian who obtained a fan base of his own through years of grinding comedy clubs and, of course, being friends with Joe Rogan. But to Tom...
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Was he grinding comedy clubs for years? I thought he went to college for a bunch of years. Right? I thought he got signed to Will Smith. Right? And then he was doing all these TV shows. Where was he grinding comedy clubs? Where? Florida? Wouldn't they have proof then? Wouldn't other comedians have seen him? If he's grinding in these comedy clubs, why'd they make a movie about him? Why'd Will Smith give him this deal? Right? It was Will Smith found that personality interesting. Was he grinding comedy clubs? Why does he still tell the same fucking 6 jokes?
To Tom's fans, Bert embodied a lot of that same chaotic energy. Loud, unpredictable, indulgent, and always ready to overshare every embarrassing detail about his life.
I don't think she knows, but I'm doing this thing where I tape my mouth shut at night to sleep because I think it'll stop me from snoring, and last night I just started suffocating. She woke up to someone like I was having a dream.
Like that? And you're like, at least I'm not snoring.
Oh, help me! Get it out of my mouth!
Tom and Bert's most viral moment was only 36 episodes in when Bert admitted that he drinks 2 massive jugs of Kool-Aid every day. It caught Tom...
Kool-Aid is awesome. It really is awesome.
This type of shit, again, bothers me because it's like, you guys claim to be friends. You pretend to be friends. And then to discover something so simple as what the man drinks in his morning routine... live on the podcast, it's either straight up bullshit and you're faking it, or you're straight up faking the friendship that you claim to have. And I could believe that. I actually believe that more than anything. I don't think that there's a single person that's a big comedian that does a podcast with another big comedian that's actually friends. I mean, we recently just found out about Shab and Brian Callen, and those guys, act like they're married. Right? With the amount of touching and wrestling and hugging and stuff that they do, you would think that they know everything about each other, only to find out their kids have never even met. It's just weird. So, of course, Bert and Tom, kids definitely never met. There's an age difference, of course, but still, come on now.
Pour a little something for yourself. It's watered down. It's not too bad.
You really drinking
Ice
Kool-Aid?
cold. It's ice cold. Yeah.
You are drinking Kool-Aid.
Yeah. It's awesome.
You're drinking 64 ounce. People walk around and they're like,
I'll just never understand why he does that squeal either. I'll never understand the squeal. Like, you're doing the shit on purpose. Because nobody has to do that. You don't need to do when you're laughing. It's like some girl shit. You know what I mean? Or like I've said in a previous video, it's like something that you do because nobody in your house ever laughed, so you didn't learn how to do it correctly. Right? Like, all of us probably laughed a little strange when we were kids. But it gets to a point where you hear other people laughing, or somebody says, man, you laugh weird, or your laugh is making me laugh, right? Well, fix your fucking laugh then. And I think that's the situation we're in here, is Bert wasn't around anybody laughing. Whether it was people in his college, his junior high, his household, it doesn't matter. Nobody was laughing, and he didn't hear other people laughing. So he thinks that this is what people do.
Good for that guy. He drinks a lot of water. It's Kool-Aid.
Bert lives like how a kid would imagine being an adult is like. Basically, the appeal of the podcast was Tom.
Look, and that right there is exactly the problem. Like, somebody saying that comment is like, are you saying that as a good thing? Like, do you think that if you were a kid and Bert was, some sort of adult that you saw, or the star that he is, and you were like, man, that's how I want to live when I get older, would you think that that's a good thing? Are you saying that that's a positive thing? Because it's like, even as a kid, there's a certain point where you're like, oh, that's what kids do. I should stop doing that. I'm a grown-up. Right? There is that time where it flips over and you're like, oh shit, I got hair on my chest, and here I am doing this kid shit. At a certain point, it's got to come to an end. Why are you still doing that? That's weird. But the problem with it is, when it comes to the celebrities and the semi-famous people, is they are constantly surrounded by a mom and a dad. Okay? Somebody who's cleaning up their fucking messes, changing their diapers, wiping their fucking chins, and making sure all their tears go away, right? From the moment that they are born until the moment that they die, because they become famous, and their manager, their agent, their producers, everybody around them becomes their mommy and daddy. Their kids become their mommy and daddy. So Bert Kreischer has never had to grow up. That's the major issue, is he's never had to grow up. There's no fucking reason he's ever had to grow up. Even having kids didn't make him have to grow up. Having a wife didn't make him have to grow up. And that goes for all of these dudes. Every single one of them. Every celebrity, every comedian, everybody at the top has had no reason to fucking grow up, because by the time they're 17, 8, even pro athletes, 17, 18, 19, 20, you meet your first agent, your first manager, and that dude's doing everything for you. He's making sure you wake up on time. He's making sure you get where you need to be. He's making sure you eat. That, my friends, is a mommy and a daddy.
Tom being the sharp, quick-witted observer who thrived on irony. Now, Bert was the sort of goofy, idiot, lovable best friend at first, but it quickly turned into him being insufferable. But first, as I've gotten older, I sometimes think it's time to start taking my own health.
Alright, so he's gonna do an ad here, and I'm not gonna sit here and skip it, but check out the Patrick CC channel. I do enjoy this guy's content. Talks about a lot of fun stuff, and he does do a pretty good deep dive when it comes to these comedians. So I enjoy what he does here. Subscribe, like, support the channel, comment, be positive, or start a conversation about whatever we're talking about here. You're just coming in saying random shit, you're just going to be blocked, and it's going to be deleted, and you're going to get no interaction. So if you're looking for friends, you're looking for communication, the best way to do that is to be positive. All right? You don't have to say the best things about everybody, but at the same time, it's like there's a line. And, yeah. You want to be a part of the conversation, don't get yourself blocked within the first thing you say. That'd be foolish. Like and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Patreon.com/thecrawlspace. $3 a month, man. Support what we're doing. But, until next time.